I just spoke to a business owner who wasted over $250 trying to fill a webinar using meta ads. And the problem with that is he got like 2 people out of it, spent money on a course that taught tactics instead of the philosophies and principles behind marketing. And obviously, he wasted all of his money. So I get DMs from people like this all the time that have bought courses and they spent money on like different programs and stuff. And the problem with these is that they typically focus on the tools rather than focusing on the stuff that really is behind the tools, right? We're really talking about the principles, the philosophies, the strategies behind using these things. So what works for them, because they're selling it, right? They're doing a good job selling it. They're selling those courses because they already have an audience built. They're already warming people up to their offer. They're already doing all the things that work that they might not really realize is what is contributing to their success. So what happens is they're teaching you these tools and different tactics and stuff, but the problem is that over time those tactics fall apart. They don't last forever, and that's really because of updates, right? There's the Andromeda update with meta ads. They completely changed the game of how ads used to work and how they work now. And the stuff that used to work 5 or 10 years ago don't work anymore. And the people that are doing meta ads the way that I'm running them, they're fine and they're working. And that's because people understand all the thought process that goes behind the marketing and understanding some very basic principles, okay? So business owners who are already running meta ads, they're learning to run a webinar in a way that forces them to risk money before they understand what they're doing. So I want to talk about this a little bit. So let's say you have a course or a webinar and you're charging about $5,000 for a course, right? So $5,000 is in your pocket if you make a sale. Well, let's say your conversion rate is baseline 1%, okay? So this means that you've already validated the offer, you already know that it sells, you need 100 people to get one sale, okay? That's 1%. Well, did you know that the average cost to fill a webinar runs about $30 to $50 per person, okay? So when we start doing this math and we start looking at this, now this might be on the low side. There are definitely niches out there where leads cost more than that. Real estate is one of them. I just did a quick search the other day. It was between $100 and $400 per lead. So just keep this in mind, okay? So $30 to $50 to fill a webinar, 1% conversion rate, which means we need 100 people in our webinar, right? So the question is really, are you willing to spend the cash up front to fill that webinar? Because when you do the simple math, let's say you're able to snag people at $40 per lead, well, you have to multiply that by 100 because you need 100 people so that you can get your one sale, okay? So right there, right out of the gate, you're already looking at like a $4,000 ad spend just to fill the webinar and hope that you actually get your conversion, right? So obviously, if that number goes up, then your chances do better. But if you're selling high ticket, or especially if you're selling anything that's low ticket or mid ticket, this is something that's really important that is not really being taught, because you guys got to understand that if you are trying to run ads to a webinar funnel, if you're just doing it like this, where you're just running an ad that goes right to like an application or website or whatever it is, the problem is that you're lucky if you get a 20% opt-in rate, okay? So that means that for all the traffic that you're sending to this page, 80% of it is bouncing and they're not doing anything. So you have this massive black hole in your funnel where all these people just fall out of your system, right? Because if you don't have a method of getting back in front of those same people that you already paid for, you really have to send quite a lot of traffic to that page to get your 20% opt-in. And then you have to get 100 people to register. And then, so it's like you would have to send so much traffic to this page, more than the 4,000, right? Because these 100 people that actually register, you're not necessarily going to send 100 people to your page and get 100 people to register, right? So you have to understand that this is like a multi-$1,000 investment in advertising, hoping and praying that your strategy is going to work. What I teach and what I try to show my students is that you can do this at a much better cost if you understand the principles behind advertising and understand that you need to get back in front of people so that these people that fall out of your funnel have a method of getting back in front of those people with more content. And the beauty of doing this is really so that you can warm people up so that they opt in at a higher rate, so that they buy at a higher rate. If you're sending cold traffic to a page and these people don't know you, they don't know what the offer is, you're going to get a lot of people either bouncing, not doing anything, or they're going to register and they're going to forget that the webinar is even happening. You're going to get a ton of no-shows, and it's going to take a lot of effort to get somebody to buy. That's why you're going to have such a low conversion rate. But if people already know you really well, they know what the offer is, they know everything about it before they register, your opt-in rate is going to naturally jump, and the people that go on to the webinar are going to already see value in it. So your no-shows will drop because people already know what they're going to get out of the webinar. They already see the value in it. Not only that, but your conversion rate also goes up. It goes up sky high. And that is literally because, again, people know you, people know the offer, and you're using your ads to actually filter out the people that are non-ideal. You want to get rid of the tire kickers. You want to get rid of the people that are not your ideal customer avatar, and you only want to keep the people that you need. So if you want my guide on filling a webinar, drop a comment down below and I'll send you the guide absolutely free. I don't need an email or anything like that. It's just a thank you for watching this video.